Hey everybody, Andy McNamara with you for the Cleveland Browns report on Chat Sports. Make sure you subscribe below so you don't miss out on any of the Browns news, notes, rumors, mock drafts, free agency, and all that good stuff. Let's get right to it. The Giants and the Browns, Friday morning, making a deal, a splash, a big trade. It's not for the guy you think. No, it's not for Odell Beckham Jr. We'll get to him in a few minutes. But John Dorsey, ahead of the league season officially starting up, putting into action a play for Olivier Vernon. So the Browns getting a pass rusher, this off of Jamie Collins being released from the Browns the other day. So now you bring in Olivier Vernon. What do the Browns give up? Kevin Zeitler. Great offensive guard, highest paid guard in football though. And remember last season the Browns did draft, and it was Dorsey, did draft Austin Corbett as a guard swing center in the future. So they must feel he is ready to go. He comes with a drastically reduced price tag, and with Vernon's $15.5 million salary, may sound like a lot, but you get rid of Zeitler's $11+ million, so that's almost a wash there, and you free up all that cash from Jamie Collins. So really, there's no new money added to the Browns salary cap, and they also still have the third most salary cap space in the NFL, according to Spottrack.com, over $80 million. So the Browns give up Kevin Zeitler and the 155th overall draft pick this year. They get Olivier Vernon and the Giants' 132nd overall draft pick this year. Now, if we take a look at some of Vernon's numbers over the past couple of seasons, 28 years old, still a guy in his prime, so you gotta like that. As I said, $15.5 million price tag. The production, not where it was at when he signed that mega deal with the Giants off of Miami. He had his best year in 2013, but over the past 2 seasons, 23 games, 13.5 sacks, and had an interception. So not the be-all, end-all when it comes to solving the Browns' pass rush, but it's an improvement. It's better than Jamie Collins, who did not have a high motor, who took plays off, and Emmanuel Ogbah, where didn't step up to the level that the Browns were hoping for on the defensive end. Now you got some depth though, right? You can pop Ogbah inside, you can keep him on a rotation on the outside. So you do have options. I want to know what you think though about this trade. Browns getting Olivier Vernon for Kevin Zeitler and swapping draft picks. Do you like it or not? Type Y for yes, you like it in the comment section below, or N for no. So with this deal going down, to me that pretty much eliminates Cleveland from any of the big name free agent linebackers in play. That included Baltimore's C.J. Mosely, who was out there, Anthony Barr, another big name. So you'd think you cross them out because you're spending all that money on Vernon. But you still need to get younger, and you still need depth at that position. So the Browns could be targeting in the draft, and I'd be shocked if they did not add at least one linebacker. You got some up top at the draft, big names, and then you look for depth underneath. Not necessarily a deep class from pure day one starters, except for the Devins. You got Devin White out of LSU, Devin Bush out of Michigan. Then after that, you have guys that I feel can make an impact, maybe come in with a little less fanfare, let's say like a Jannard Avery last season, right? Avery, that bodybuilder, became an instant pass rusher and impact guy. For the Browns, I really like TYRELL Hanks. Really like TYRELL Hanks out of New Mexico State. He wowed me at the Senior Bowl. The lateral movement, the quickness, the horizontal feet on Hanks, tremendous. This is a guy who can cover tight ends. That's been a problem for the Browns for the past decade, maybe more. TYRELL Hanks can get after the quarterback a little bit, so I like TYRELL Hanks as an option. Also, someone who's been really underlooked, Khalil Hodge. A little bit undersized at 6'1", but the guy is technically sound. Check out his tape. You can YouTube it. Sick swimmer. He can get over the top on offensive linemen, get back to the quarterback. He can drop back a little bit. Sound tackler, technique-wise. Khalil Hodge, very good. And then a project, Trey Lamar out of Clemson. All the skill set, but very raw. So those are some draft prospect options you could look for. To get any of the Devins, White or Bush, Browns would have to take them, likely with the 17th overall pick. Maybe they fall, maybe they don't. We'll get into, as we approach the draft, more here on the Browns Report, much more about what options the Browns would have at play at 17. Interior defensive lineman you gotta look at, pass rush, corner, and of course, linebacker. So, do you like the Browns to draft a linebacker? And who do you like? Doesn't have to be someone from the list we had, but type their name in below in the comment section. And remember to subscribe to the Browns Report below so you don't miss out on any of the news and notes. Now the rumor mill, okay? Before this Olivier Vernon trade, the Browns, hot rumors that they would be in play for Odell Beckham Jr. with the Giants. Doesn't mean they still can't be. They could. But one of the rumors was Kevin Zeitler to the Giants in a package deal. Well, he went, but for Olivier Vernon. So when you look at who might be in play for Odell Beckham Jr. now overall, Vegas is leaning towards the Browns. For the non-Giants, Giants are a minus 190 if you're betting down some cash in Vegas on it. But the best odds for a non-Giants team are the Cleveland Browns at 285. Steelers after that at 700. Then you get San Francisco, Cardinals, Raiders, Dolphins at 1,500. Bears at 1,800 overall. So the Browns are a 3-1 underdog to get it, but still the best non-Giants team to land OBJ. To put that in perspective, you put $100 on that, you get 285. So if you're inclined to bet where Odell Beckham Jr. is going to land, you can do that in Vegas or a sportsbook somewhere on the Browns report here. Now, when we look at what the Browns would have to give up for Odell Beckham Jr., okay? Talked about Zeitler. Other rumors to give up. 17th overall. That seems like a must. The first overall pick for the Browns, 17th overall, that they would have to give up in this draft. And multiple picks. So if it's just draft picks, we're talking 17 as a starting point. Maybe next year's number one as well. Or at least another combo or package of high draft picks. Another guy rumored to be included as a player deal would be Emmanuel Ogbah. We mentioned earlier that could be a nice swingman. Well, all right, the Giants gave up Olivier Vernon. Maybe they'd look to get a defender back in Emmanuel Ogbah and an Odell Beckham Jr. trade, right? So that could be something that they get into play, and the Browns could replace Ogbah with somebody else that they like. Remember again, not somebody that John Dorsey drafted. So you got multiple draft picks. If Ogbah was in play, you'd probably still have to give up the 17th overall pick and maybe other package picks as well. What do you think of getting Odell Beckham Jr. for that high price tag? Okay, what do you think? Do you want him? Would you pay that much? What would you pay? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. I want to feel the pulse of you Browns fans. What do you want? Would you give up anything for Odell Beckham Jr.? Or do you not want him at all? Draft him. Draft an outside guy. Get somebody in free agency. What do you want done in regards to Odell Beckham Jr.? So let me know there. Now, if the Browns decide, you know what, price tag's too much. Not going to pay that much for OBJ. The wide receiver class is relatively thin, but there are some options. The hottest guy out there, TYRELL Williams from the LA Chargers. Now, Williams, you look at his stats from last year, good, not great. Burned the Browns, couple touchdowns when they played. I was at that game in Cleveland when the Chargers came, and he was tremendous. You look at his size, 6'4", 202, 27 years old. Reports out he's going to be looking at anywhere between $9 and $12 million annually. So dude's going to get paid in a weak free agency class. Now for Williams though, although his numbers weren't breathtaking a year ago, when he had to fill in for Keenan Allen and he went down, he stepped into a number one role. He was an instant number one, and he was a viable number one for Phil Rivers. So TYRELL Williams is the top guy out there. Somebody to watch for Browns fans, though. We know Dorsey likes his Kansas City connections. He was the GM there before, right? Keep an eye out on Chris Conley from the Chiefs. 6'3", 205, had some potential, flashed last year with the Chiefs, couple big games, wasn't overly utilized. You got Tyreek Hill there, but you put that frame in this Browns offense with Baker Mayfield, that could be something where now you got your big body on the outside, Jarvis Landry in the slot, Callaway who can be the speed demon, and you sprinkle in Hollywood Higgins, Damian Ratley who'd be off, and Derek Willis, and a whole bunch of other options there. So Chris Conley could be somebody else. Dante Moncrief, underutilized and a guy I don't think gets enough credit. 6'2", 216. He played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're going to look at his numbers and think, Dante Moncrief. And he didn't do anything. Well, he had Blake Bortles throwing him the ball. What do you want from the guy? Okay, Dontrell Inman is another one from the Jags who might be a little maybe less dynamic, but another big body. I feel the Browns really need that big-bodied outside guy to complement. You don't need another slot receiver. You got those. So from an outside perspective, Dante Moncrief could come out of bargain. Only 25 years old. The stats weren't overwhelming at all. So he's going to be looking for a prove-it deal there. John Brown from the Baltimore Ravens. Another person who you think, all right, well, with the Ravens, you had quarterback flux last year. Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson, 28 years old. He's been up and down consistency-wise. Not as large a guy that I would like, but he has shown that he could produce, and maybe with a better quarterback and more consistent quarterback play, he could be somebody that could really stand up and stand out. So John Brown, another option there. Who do you want for the Browns and wide receiver free agency? Who would you want to pick up? Somebody on the list, somebody outside of it? Let me know. Maybe it's someone we're not thinking about yet. But I think the top two targets have to be TYRELL Williams, who's going to get a lot of attention, or Chris Conley. Those are the two. Don't discount Conley there. So on top of that, if they don't get OBJ, even if they do get a free agent wide receiver, you still want to be drafted. John Dorsey loves depth. He wants youth. He wants to be able to build. And of course, on those rookie deals, you get a bargain. Coming out of the combine, we all love DK Metcalf, the immeasurable 6'3", 6'4", 228, a 40-plus inch vertical, 4.33, a 40-yard dash, bigger, more physical than Julio Jones, as fast as Brandon Cooks. Is he going to be there at 17? I doubt it. So he's not going to be an option. If he fell to the Browns at number 17, I would gallop up to the podium to go get him. I don't think he's going to be there. Secondary option. Now, his stock is starting to rise a little bit too, so you might have to trade back up into the first round or higher into the second round. But out of Notre Dame, Miles Boykin. Okay, keep your eye on him. Miles Boykin, 6'3", 220. You talk about an athletic freak. I said DK Metcalf, 40.5-inch vertical. 43.5-inch vertical for Miles Boykin. What does that mean? That is one of the combine workouts that really matter for wide receivers. Jump ball, he's going to out-jump everybody. End zone corner, love it. Big target for Baker Mayfield. Ran a 4.40 as well, so he is quick. Miles Boykin, somebody to keep in mind for the Browns in the draft. You go a little bit lower than that. Hakeem Butler, you'll look at him, looks like the wide receiver you want. 6'5", 227, very suspect hands. Man, I don't want another Greg Little on our hands here where he looks good but can't catch the ball. So I'm shying away from him a little bit. He might fall in the draft. A.J. Brown, 6 feet, 226. Again, somebody who I would like a little bit of a taller receiver, and he'll probably go in the first round, but if he starts falling, very dynamic, you can pop him inside, you can pop him outside. So those are a few options. What wide receiver do you want the Browns to draft? Let me know in the Browns Report comment section below. Who do you want them to draft? Do you like any of the guys we just listed here? Is there somebody else you're looking for? Maybe a little bit of a dark horse that we're not thinking of. Who do you like there? And should the Browns both draft and sign starting caliber wide receivers? That's our other question here. Should they do both? Mentioned Conley, Moncrief, Williams up top to free agents, and these draft picks. Should the Browns draft and sign starting caliber wide receivers to really try to put this offense over the top? Type Y for yes, N for no down below. So there you go. And remember, through this whole draft process, we're going to be going through mock draft scenarios, other trades, other signings, analyzing everything right here on the Browns Report and Chat Sports. I'm Andy McNamara. You can follow me on Twitter at AndyMC81, Instagram at AndyMCSports. Again, make sure you subscribe below to the YouTube channel here of Browns Report on Chat Sports so you don't miss any of the Browns news, notes, and rumors.